I don't know what that number would be. My whole point is, there are so many simple things, and all you have to do is talk to somebody that's smart enough to understand.
Yeah.
Too many owners are having accountants and businessmen and sabermaticians run their team, and they don't have baseball knowledge.
Yeah.
They don't know how to evaluate talent, and because you know what, their marketing skills are phenomenal. They can do that, and they can make them money. Well, if they're making money, they're happy.
Yeah.
Trouble is, they don't realize that having great players and then having the right people marketing can make them many more times more.
Yeah.
There's Philosophy 101, Jack Moore's free. Get the waitresses later, so they can do this again tomorrow night.
Hey, Dan, on video, you can move chairs up here.
Oh,
They're all the way in the back.
oh, okay, that's fine. I just had a couple questions for him in between cookies.
Yeah.
All right, a friend of mine, Bill, wants to know who was your childhood hero?
Well, I use the word hero very loosely. It's a big word, complicated word for me. People I admired, people I emulated, people I wanted to be like. Those are more appropriate words for me, because hero is a complicated word.
Yeah.
As a baseball kid, grew up here in Minnesota, and our guy was Harmon Killebrew. You know, we loved him. He was bigger than life. He was Mr. Home Run guy. He was the ultimate baseball player for most of us kids growing up here in Minnesota. All the 65 through 70 Twins were great players. They had great teams.
You got a chair behind you.
And we knew them all, and I can name the whole roster pretty much if you wanted me to.
Oh, that's right.
But Harmon was the guy that kind of led the charge. I was lucky enough to get to know him because his son and I went to college together. And after Harmon had retired, he would come to a lot of our games. And then, as irony would have it, I get to the big leagues, and Harmon's working for the Twins as a TV broadcaster. And so when I came into town, he always would come say hi to me and talk to me about, you know, college, because Cam and I played together. And then, you know, the relationship took another step. And then I came back with the Twins to do some radio and TV stuff back in 2001, 2002. And Harmon was still around, and then we really built a strong relationship because we did a lot of corporate things together, and I got to know him as a human being, and what a great human being he was. He's the ultimate guy because he had more passion for the right things than most sports guys ever have. And he had a lot of failures. Financially, he was a mess. But his heart was in the right place. He wanted to help everybody. He took the time to talk, to listen, to write. He would always be late because he was talking to some kid or somebody that wanted his attention, and he gave it to him. He's just a wonderful guy.
Yeah, great. It's great. Obviously, a great role model considering some of the.
Yeah, we were lucky. You know, you pick your heroes, but you don't quite understand who they are, and we got to know who he was. What a great guy.
A friend of mine, Mike, was saying that he says you definitely pitched the greatest World Series game of our generation. That's what he sincerely believes. So I just want you to know he a lot of fans out there.
I was lucky to be in that position. You know, and the irony of it all is, as the game was progressing, I started recognizing that. I knew it was special, and I knew, especially late into the game, when it was getting nail-biting time, and you know, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, and nothing. And I looked up and looked at what I considered my neighbors. You know, I'm from Minnesota. It was the old Metrodome, but I looked around and, you know, these people were spent. They were waving their Homer hankies. Their voices were gone. They were screaming. You know, they had a gauge of some sort that measures volume or noise volumes, and they compared it to 747s taking off at the airport. It was beyond like 130 decibels.
Wow.
Ridiculous. And people asked me, was that true? And I said, I've never been to a venue ever. And I played in 77,000 people at the All-Star game in Cleveland. And what didn't even come close, because it was a dome stadium and these people went ballistic, right? So when my teammates would come to the mound or the manager would come out, literally you'd have to yell, put your glove over and yell to each other to hear. But for me it was almost peaceful because it blocked out the distraction. It was just sort of this dull buzz.
Yeah.
But at the time I sat there and I looked around and I go, my God, these people are spent. And these people are me. they're me, you know. I was a Viking fan who did that. I was one of them watching the Vikings, even though I didn't do it in the stadium, and they lost 4 Super Bowls. And I said to myself, and I got this chill, this rush of inspiration come over me, and I said, not tonight. This is our house. We're not going to be the Vikings. We're not going to be the Vikings.
Wow.
And I kicked in a shot of adrenaline I've never had, you know, a focus that I've never had, never reproduced in my life. And I felt like, and this might sound corny to you guys, but I felt like God picked me up.
That's awesome.
Then I had some shit left to handle.
So have you been in different situations where the crowd really kind of like gets you, you know, puts you over that, you know, gives you that extra?
Never again like that.
Yeah, obviously.
You know, I was inspired. Obviously, I won a World Series in Detroit. You know, that city is kind of a reflection of what I believe in America.
Yeah.
Heart and soul, you know, kind of like St. Louis is. You know, a lot of our Midwest cities are cities of hard knocks. You know, you kind of go through tough times, through difficult times, and you find a way to make the city great again. And Detroit was certainly one of those cities, and I think the '68 Tigers helped them through the riots and all the bad times of the late '60s, and I think our '84 team was helping them through an economic time. And you know, winning, the sports team winning can really do something for that city. So I always felt like, you know, Michigan people are a lot like me, you know, very similar. But then I was lucky enough to go to Toronto, and, you know, Canadians are, hey, you know, they're goofy, eh? They drink a lot, eh? And they smoke a lot, eh? And they're goofier than LA. But you know what they are? They're just like us, too.
Yeah.
And they were great. And I loved Toronto. I embraced it. And when we won in '92 up there, is, you know, we had our parade, and I looked around, and it's like, my God, this is deja vu. It's just awesome. You know, it's a feeling. I got to do it again in '93. And my gosh, I pinched myself. I went to Cleveland in '94, and we were that close. I swear, I would have been the luckiest guy in the world. Yeah. That would have been 4 straight World Series, and I really think if the strike hadn't happened in '94, that I might have been able to be the first guy ever to win 4 straight World Series on 3 different teams. Because I believe we would have done it. We'd probably had to go through the Expos, and they were a great team, and you can argue forever who was a better team that year, but I was looking forward to that.
You can blame that on the Cleveland sports prowess there. We have a proud history of
bad luck, but
winning championships in Cleveland. So.
You up for a magic trick? Want to see a magic trick?
I was warned about this guy will do some magic tricks. Yeah.
All right.
See?
This is Michael Kadire of our audience.
All right. So pick a card.
Son, have you looked at these cards? Are these your cards in any shape? Oh, he's probably already showed you how to do this. We're going to pick this one right here.
All right. So you think your Raymond chose that, right?
No, I picked it on purpose.
Look at the back of my cards. You can keep that as memento.
See? Dan doesn't mess around.
Life's gas. I should have picked the Jack of Diamonds.
You could have.
It's
But you
probably
didn't.
on
You
that
picked
one
down.
too, isn't it?
But I showed you the rest of all the cards.
It's fine.